Okay, so I'm talking to Joseph Falasca, and he is a veteran actor who lived in the Gaylord Apartments when I was living there, and I threw a couple of epic parties for under Radio Titan's name. One of which had 7 bands. It was 2014. 7 bands, 10 comics, 8 hours, a pig on a spit, all the beer you could possibly stomach, and the police showed up 3 times in 8 hours, but all 3 times they went away laughing and having a coke because city laws, you can make all the noise you want till 10 p.m. But they were getting complaints, they said, from businesses or homes 2 miles away. That's how loud it was and how much it echoed and everything. And you were there. I
Yeah.
didn't know you, or just not friendly neighbor nod kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
there was a band called Hot Sauce Holiday performing, and their lead singer Jonathan Grout was this Mohawk guy who was shirtless at the party, and he was just so entertaining that he was dancing through the audience all around the pool, and people were surrounding him and dancing. And in the middle of all this, you came up to me, and I barely, if I ever knew you, and I remember you grabbed my shoulders and you said, "Carl," basically something like this. You said, "This is saving my life. Thank you." And I was like, I thought, "Oh man, I'm glad you're
Yeah.
having a good time," but it didn't really sink into me that maybe you really meant something deeper. And then when I started thinking of this project, that memory hit me, and I thought, I got to find you. So I tracked you down through another former Gaylord resident, and you say you indeed had a pretty profound feeling about the party. Like, what did you think of it?
Well, I have to tell you the truth. Prior to that party, I mean, I had known you because it's such an intimate community living in the Gaylord, and
Yeah,
I used to see you all the time, either in passing or sometimes camped out in the lobby of the building, kind of doing your thing, either working, talking to somebody, or sometimes sleeping, like even
yeah,
in the middle of the day.
yeah.
And I kind of thought, okay, everybody said, "Oh, Carl the comedian," and I thought, well, Carl the weirdo, like I really didn't really like. I didn't know you. I didn't know what to make of you. But anyway, in my life, I was going through something really profound back then. I had lost my dad, and I was going through a really horrible breakup. And I'll never forget. I saw the signs like this party is happening, and then I heard all the music, and all I wanted for that weekend was to be left alone. And I
Mm,
lived up on the ninth floor facing the pool. And I wanted just peace and quiet because it was nice up there. It was like living on top of a mountain almost. It's like very quiet. But then all of a sudden by noon, all these bands start playing. And I have to tell you, I was so annoyed. I was like, who the fuck is this guy, Carl Kozlowski, like coming in here and doing this thing? It really put me into a sour mood. And
mm.
so then I thought, well, I'm going to go down to this party. And I went down there. And as soon as I walked out onto the terrace and saw you sitting there and saw this really interesting, beautiful mosaic of people, all just trying to like enjoy life and have fun and express themselves, something started to happen to me. And I just started to kind of let go and release a little bit. And then by the time that band came on, I thought it was the weirdest thing. Like I somehow was displaced and taken from my little cocoon and put in the middle of this chaos. But somehow it really started to touch my heart and warm my heart. And it seemed like everywhere I looked, people were looking at me and smiling, and everybody was just having such an amazingly good time. And it was really focused on like not just being around each other like people, but expression and art. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like a lot of people who have a lot to give the world. And I saw you sitting there, and I thought, oh my God, I finally know what Carl's strength is. And it's really like bringing all these, because I can't believe that you even knew this band. I can't believe that you knew somebody with a mohawk who's like jumping in the pool and screaming. Like, I didn't know that you knew this collection of crazy people. Like, how the fuck does Carl know all these cool people? But there you were sitting there kind of smiling, everybody kind of walking by you. And I'll never forget, all of a sudden the sun was beating down and the music was playing and I had a beer in my hand and suddenly life was like, okay. And then I saw you right in front of me. And that's when it really hit me, like, you know, what we really need more than anything when we're going through tough times is community, is this sense of community. And you brought that to the Gaylord, because here I was wanting to be alone and be in my little world, all quiet. And you kind of dragged me into this chaos that was taking place. But it was beautiful and it was amazing and it really touched my heart, man. So I
Wow.
thank you for that. And I kind of miss that because it was a special moment in time to be living in that building with all the collection of people, and then having an opportunity to have all these other people from the neighborhood and people you knew, you know, from out in the world, be able to come to a central place like that. You know, it was really special, man. And I appreciate it. It's so good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing
Thanks.
well now.
All right. Hang on a sec.